And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Never Second in Rome, but we're still in what I'm going to call Act 9. There has been some damage to the ramp and the towers, but nothing impairing. 2 days later, the work is virtually complete. The rain is even worse than usual. The enemy will not expect to attack it today, but it's exactly what the proconsul has in store. The soldiers at the ramp have been told to work lazily to bolster the false impression of a slow day. The rest of you will cross most of the way to the wall unseen, concealed by the Vinay. The structures your army built during the past month make the task of storming Avrikium less forbidding, but will not be easy, not for the troops who will make the contact first to siege defenses at least. They will expose a lot of danger. To motivate them, Caesar has promised that the first to mount the enemy wall receive a mural crown. Volunteer to be deployed to the most advanced squads, or give up on the crown. I'm still in the tired fatigue, so we're going to stay with the sentry in the middle column. The crown is a bit of a long shot with our level of fatigue. Move forward to the windward Vinay. You hear the shouts of the soldiers at the head of the column as they launch the first assault, the cries of alarm of the defenders. By the time you reach your tower, the enemy defenses have already collapsed. Caesar was right. They were not expecting such a move, not today. The Gauls have no reinforcements ready beyond the first line of contact. As soon as their positions start being overwhelmed, the remaining guards panic and fled. More troops keep streaming in, eventually occupy the entire length of the wall. The city below is in chaos as everyone tries to escape to the gates. What happens next was not planned. Tormented by hunger, rain, and mud for weeks, frustrated with the viciousness of the long siege, many of the soldiers turned into feral beasts. They cannot be controlled. Not many, be they warriors or simple city dwellers, manage to get away. No prisoners are made. When the fighting, if it can be so called, is over, you watch in silence the desolation left by your army's passage. You walk along the streets, signs of slaughter everywhere. It gets worse as you draw near the city gates. It was a hard-won victory, but somehow you cannot rejoice. You have seen a lot of brutality during your stay at this side of the Alps, and yet some episodes stand out even against the rest. Some feel like an affront to the human race itself. The granaries and storehouses of Rikium contain plenty of food, and after so much perfidy, you can finally placate your hunger and replenish. Commandant's points are converted to morale. Sentry gains 12 morale. Lingering fatigue is greatly reduced by everyone, barring the effects of strain, so we're back down to none. Basically, we got rid of that hunger debuff. While the city's being cleaned out, you find some jewels and an empty house while you are searching with 2 soldiers. You know the rules. Loot must be shared with the army. Try to recover that integrity we lost. In the meantime, word comes in the Vercingetorix's army is fortifying its camp, something they never did before. The armies of this part of the world are accustomed to relying on natural defenses to protect their campsite. See for share of the loot. Don't get very much money. We kept our vow. We made it for the battle. We lost some money from keeping the vow and the religion. Vercingetorix has not the slightest intention of surrendering, but the reported numbers of envoys are coming and going from the enemy base. Undoubtedly, to forging alliances, and resolve must still be strong. Spring has come, but before you can resume operations, Caesar receives an unexpected visit from the delegation of Duini. Their country is on the verge of civil war. Every year they elect a Vergombret, the highest-ranking magistrate who rules over the tribe. 2 men are now claiming the position at the same time. The envoys have asked Caesar to intervene and settle the matter before it escalates into open conflict. Things get that far, it is no large stretch of imagination to assume that the losing side will be very tempted to turn to the rebels. Rome would lose its most important ally in the region. The Aduran law forbids a Vergobret in charge to leave his territory. He must go to them. Without much enthusiasm, your army breaks camp and sets off for the city of Descentia, where Caesar summoned the entire Senate of the Anduini and the 2 rivals. Thanks to your command experience, you've gained additional points to spend. So we got 3 points to spend. I think everything here for us at this point costs 2 points. We got 3 points to spend, so let's take the charisma. Yes. Same thing with the troop here. Everything costs 2, so we'll go ahead and take bravery with them. Get a new notable legionary. This guy, good with sword. Spear, charisma, shield, discipline. Better average in the remaining melee stats. Apparently not particularly aware. Generate. There we go. Oh, and this is a real short training phase here, part in Act 10. 3. Not hearing me wrong, 3 training turns. Oops. No, this one I want. Give the troops quickness. Recently fallen or missed, especially by those who are closer to them. Okay, so that'll get us all strain back as the thing ends. Trade. Misk. Try to cheer up the troops. Let's see if we can get as far as our equipment goes. Major upgrade on the... Well, say major, it's just +1 coordination. Probably not worth it, just +1 coordination. One more endurance. Yeah, it's tempting. Or we could keep the same... No, or actually that would be the problem here, is we lose appearance. Gain some better stats, but the cost of appearance. Maybe go the sword? Yeah, let's upgrade the sword. Let's go the Hispanian sword. +1 to both min and max damage. More and more anti-armor, so we're more likely to penetrate thing. Yeah, okay. And there we go. So we're going to lose a little bit of, we're going to gain a little bit of Caesar opinion, lose a little bit of Caesar opinion. I think that'll work out. Okay, so we lost a little bit of Caesar opinion. That's, I think, going to be fine as far as getting the troops being effective. You will wait in Dacia for the time necessary to settle the dispute between the two aspiring leaders of the Duini. Not that you mind the respite after the ordeal of Ericium, but you know that the longer you spend in this place, the more time the rebels will have to reorganize and drive more people to their cause. It turns out that one of the pretenders, Cotus, has a brother that has been Vergbreton before him. According to the law of the Duini, no relative of still living former Vergbreton can hold the same magistracy. Caesar decides in favor of the other contender, Convictolitivis, who was appointed by the Druids. With the controversy resolved, the proconsul demands that all the cavalry the Duini can provide, they must also muster 10,000 footmen who will take care of defending your supply line. 4 legions and the part of cavalry are sent to Lavinius. They will go north to attack the Parisi and the Senones. Your twin legion, the 12th, is one of the 4. Your 11th will remain with Caesar. The proconsul will take his force of 6 legions to the south towards Gerjovinia, a major city of the Averuni, Vercingetorix's own tribe. Even before you reach the river Elier, come to know the army of Vercingetorix is waiting for you on the other side. Looks like they are systematically destroying every bridge over the river. You cannot reach Jurgovina without crossing the Elier. There's an alternative route, and you cannot build a new bridge as long as the rebels control the opposite bank. You hear your Primpulus discuss with Verdermaris, one of the commanders of the Duanian cavalry. According to what they say, the river will be unfordable for a few months down the line. You do not have that long. There are many Gallic leaders who have not joined the rebellion yet. You can be sure that they are waiting to see how the situation unfolds. Unless you keep the victory streak going, they will decide the opportunity is too good to pass up and will throw their weight in favor of Vercingetorix. As you proceed along the riverside, your rebel army falls from the other bank. You are stopped by a destroyed bridge, one of the several you have seen recently. They notice that the lower supports are mostly intact, though. Caesar orders the column to halt. You must camp here near a forested area. The same evening, 2 legions hand over all the standards to 20 cohorts of the remaining 4. You are told that on the morrow, the cohort and the others that receive the standards must divide into groups. The first arrange as usual, the second will carry the excess banners if they were theirs. When you set off in the morning, to a distant observer, it would appear the same number of cohorts as before on the march, but you know that 2 legions hid in the nearby woods with Caesar last night. Keep following the Elier southward as you did during the last few days. The entire army shadows you from the side as expected. Camp at New After Moon, many miles away from your left of the proconsul. Following day, you are on the move again. Eventually, a lone rider reaches your column and informs you that it's time to retrace your steps. Quick turnabout seems to surprise the Gauls on the other bank. At long last, you've come back to the destroyed bridge that has been built to the 2 legions that remain at the proconsul. I've also built a camp near across the river. The way to Jurgovina is now up to you. Vercingetorix makes no attempt to come near. The last report said that his army was moving fast towards Jurgovina. Obviously, to get there before you, the Gaul is a smart leader. He knows he would not be wise to go out all against Caesar. His cavalry is still superior, but his infantry cannot stay toe-to-toe with yours. His best bet is to contain you and weaken you slowly, all while gathering more support and waiting for the good opportunity to sink his fangs into your neck. After 5 more days of march, you come in sight of Jurgovina. It does not take a military genius to see that you have a difficult task ahead. The city lies on the plateau at the top of the tall hill, with rather steep sides. On the large slopes around the wall, you see the encampments of the rebels. They look more orderly than you expected, but then again, Vercingetorix has already proven unusually mindful of these aspects of warfare. The cavalry protects you as you set up camp. A lot of scouting to do. The explorers could use a hand. So no one, which is presumably going to piss Caesar off. Send someone or send ourselves. Okay, so it's send a notable person or go ourselves. Who's our most capable notable? Gaius here. Gaius Gabinius. We're sending the Gabini. Gabinus joins one of the groups tasked with reconnoitering the area south of the city. So because we sent someone, we get some opinion with Caesar. Coordination, discretion is essential. Manages to do it. He keeps up his compatriots smoothly enough. Although he does make a few mistakes. So we lost some of that opinion because the guy we sent is not the best. In general, the scouts are better observers than Gabinius. He can only give a small contribution. There's a hilltop 1 mile south of Jurgovina. It dominates a brook, good source of fresh water. And one of the main supply routes of the enemy is occupied, but the garrison is small. If it is taken unaware before it can call reinforcements to the city, it should be possible to overpower them in spite of the ground. At night, Caesar launches a surprise attack west to wrest control of the place. The garrison falls quickly as expected. Commander orders to build a second camp on the captured site. 2 parallel ditches, each 12 feet wide, are dug by the troops to perform a protective path between the main camp and the new one. There's still a long way to go, but this is the first step. The monotony of the days is only briefly interrupted by the occasional inconclusive cavalry skirmishes on the plains outside. The infantry of the Aduini should arrive soon with the next little surprise. You feel like you've just closed your eyes when they wake you up. It's still dark outside. Caesar is leaving with 4 legions and all the cavalry. Your 11th and another legion are left to protect the 2 camps. You must help organize your cohort. You do not know what is happening. There are rumors of problems with the Arduini who are supposed to be on their way here. Whatever it is, it must be urgent indeed. Normally, Caesar would have taken some time to reduce the perimeter of the camp before leaving, to make it easier to defend with less personnel. Legate Gaius Fabius has been left in charge. He does not look happy as he inspects the ramparts. The blanket is too short. First hours of the morning go by uneasily, but nothing relevant happens. Then you start to notice the movement towards the enemy tents around the Gergovinia. They are massing a strike force. The notes nobody was eager to hear ring out, calling everyone to arms. Largest enemy host descends upon the main camp, and they're attacking a secondary bastion where you've been stationed with a cohort. There are many archers behind a screen of infantry, the former ready to cover the advanced ladder. There are too few new, but at least your position is strong and defensible. Tell them to focus on the infantry or attack the archers. Looks like the check on the infantry is easier. But of course, if we don't succeed against the archers will pelt us. We've only got 41 on the artillery. We're going to go for the easier check. Check is successful. Offers a relatively easy target. Few bolts rip through the masses to give some results. Position of your sentry is invested by shallow errors. Dolinus has been hit. Attack with the javelins. Do not let them get too close. So because of the artillery success, this is easier. Now, had we successfully attacked the archers, he probably would have an easier time to protect himself against incoming arrow fire. Okay, we sustained. There's a sustained range fight, but troops prevail. First wave withdraws, but you see now they're getting ready. More work for the artillerymen. Artillerymen are effective. Extremely effective from their vantage point. The attackers lose momentum and are repelled with little effort, so the Caesar is happy for that. To the east, the legionnaires of the main camp are having a harder time, but still holding the rampart. Vercingetorix generates sends a few more parties. He stops only when the sun is low on the horizon. You're told that Legate has sent messages to Caesar. You'll add a Bucerod to the rampart tonight. But you do not think you can hold that much longer with just 2 legions. Fortunately, the proconsul and the rest of the army are back before dawn. The 10,000 Aduini you were waiting for are with them, but when they hear what transpired, you realize the situation is much bleaker than you thought. The leader of the Aduan force, a high-ranking nobleman named Litvicus, was part of the conspiracy to join the rebellion. During the march about 30 miles from here, he instigated his men to kill all the Roman citizens who were part of the supply train they were supposed to protect after convincing them that Caesar betrayed and executed the Aduinian cavalry commanders who were with your army. After that, Leviticus planned to join Vercingetorix in Gergovinia. The news reached one of the Aduinian officers they were supposed to have killed, who in turn informed Caesar. So he convinced them that we killed the officers who aren't actually dead, and thus one of those officers learned about what's going on. It's like, wait, okay. This is why the proconsul left so suddenly 2 nights ago. He intercepted the Aduan convoys before it was too late. He sent the cavalry ahead so they could see their commanders. And I understand they had been lied to. It worked in the yield of that fighting, while him and his accomplices fled to the Avrinian city. The worst part is that according to many, Litvicus is a very close associate with the guy we just installed as their leader, the new Vergenbrut, the one who came out on top of the recent disputes thanks to Caesar's war, which seems to imply that the current leader of your best allies is someone persuaded to switch sides. Well, that's not good. Caesar sped the 10,000 Aduini warriors, but they certainly feel more like hostages than allies. Even the Aduini are plotting against you. The situation is getting faster than suspected. Not everyone realizes how delicate a position your army has become, but the faces of the legates and the tribunes during the last few days says a lot. First rays of sunlight light up the plain below. Your sentries tell you that the body of the cavalry left the main camp last night for several hours, apparently bound for the distant side of the enemy hill. They were unusually conspicuous for a scouting party. Caesar must be up to something. Soon after, you see a large number of horses leaving through the far gates below. The helmets of their riders glittering into the morning light. Again, they are directed toward the enemy positions. Meanwhile, several legions are being massed in your camp. Small groups keep coming from the other base. Their standards and insignia are hidden so as not to be noticed by the enemy. The legate informs you to be ready for the action. Apparently, Caesar is doing what he can to convince Vercingetorix that he intends to attack from the north. Most of the enemy army is fortifying that side of the hill. The southern slope, the one in front of you, is mostly unmanned right now. You will attack the unprotected tents outside the city, but not Gergovinia itself. When the signal is given, the legion rushes uphill. The Gauls have built a stone wall to protect from the encampments. It's only slightly larger than the man, but you must climb it to move forward. We're going to be careful. We have, after our penalties, we have about average coordination here. It looks like we need an above average to show off. Average should probably succeed on be careful. And yeah, average does succeed. Not an impressive feat, but he lands safely on the other side. The goals are unprepared. You overrun the closest camp with ease. Accompanied by the squad, you break into the large tent of a chieftain. You find a warrior inside. Unarmed, his hands are outstretched in surrender. Your men are not inclined to listen. No, no, no. I have integrity and humanitas. We do not murder people surrendering. You order taken prisoner. 2 soldiers will escort him to camp as you move on. You spot some gold and silver. Now is not the time. Again, we have integrity. We've got to secure the camp. Leave the tent to resume the assault. Short time. 3 camps have fallen under your command. You see that the Legion has stopped below. It must be the 10th. The one led by Caesar in person. The 13th is also behind, garrisoning your second camp. You think you've heard something from below, but you're not sure. Anyway, the excitement is high after the smooth victory. The scent of easy plunder is too strong. The remaining legions keep advancing. Even from where you stand, you can see the chaos explode within the city. Women looking out from the walls. Some of them have bared their breasts and are holding infants. Some of them are throwing valuables down to legionnaires. You cannot quite make out what they're shouting, but it's not difficult to imagine they're begging for mercy for themselves and for their children. Avricium. Gergovinia, and so this is us remembering the slaughter in an early state. Gergovinia seems to be out of control. Some of the centurions and the front lines are getting ready to break into the city. But your formation is disrupted by the long climb, and the obstacles, which have also taken a toll on your stamina. The enemy army begins to rush in from the other side of the hill, and you suddenly realize how dangerously exposed you are. It's barely enough time to form flawed battle lines. The enemy infantry moves against you from above. Okay, so we don't need to do much damage to the enemy. We only need about 100 damage. And we do have a decent advantage over them. Our cohesion's pretty bad, but that also means we have space to get better. And we have a determination weakness. Some morale and bravery, plus further modifiers applicable. Hold the line. Okay, they don't have any ranged weapons, so our guys get the first one off. Do some damage. That helps a little bit. We can meet their fierce with a fierce, which would give us even odds with keeping the initiative here. Or we can accept that we're probably at a mild disadvantage and gain the extra defensiveness of staying steadfast. Yeah, let's stay steadfast here. We may lose the initiative with that, and we don't. We successfully achieve the initiative. I shall lead the counterattack. Immediate threat roll, not into kill, brings me into a fight. Against an inferiorly armored foe. We have a stance weakness, but we're trained for this. It's not a problem. From a stance weakness to a stance advantage already. Your stance is my stance. Blow to the enemy's head. He's trying to refocus himself, and that was a mistake for him. Off with his... Oh, not quite off with his head. We're at the point where if we can land a blow, we'll bring the first guy down. If we can land a blow. Yeah, darn. Lives. Crushing victory, though. They move on cautious. We've got an advantage here, so hopefully they don't have help coming. But we're going to push our advantage. Oh, this guy's got a helmet. Look for that opening. Found a slight opening. No, he recovers it. +4 is not quite enough. 16 from the Intimidate. Go for the Intimidate. Okay, last attempt to do any damage, so we'll do a torso swing. No dice. Oof, we took damage in exchange. That was the risk there. Wasn't a bad risk, we only took 6 damage. It's a marginal defeat because we got injured. And the killing machine that is us is back in the combat. Going on an offensive focus, that's not a smart move. Won this victory, but that's because the other guy's dead. The other guy is just straight dead. Do I push the... keep pushing the attack? We'll fall back to Steadfast. In preparation to move on to the cautious defense. They've come on to Fierce. Managed to take the initiative back. We're involved in a fight. -7 feint. Probably none. Well, no, misleads. Into another feint. Use our great looks to intimidate the enemy. I would like better than that. The problem is we're two fatigue levels higher than the enemy right now. Okay, now we're only 1 fatigue level higher than them. Going to intimidate and try a swing. +4 to hit. Modest victory. Let's fold to cautious and I'll fold to the rear because I'm a little exhausted. We want to recover our balance here, and I think the fight's probably going to go into disengage soon if we don't lose someone. Oh, there we go. Lost someone. That's not great. One of our unnamed men has died. In the fighting? And another one of our unnamed men died in the fighting. That's not great. Geminius. More exhausted than I would like to say. It's fairly tough, so he's unlikely to die, but we're not likely to spin this battle in our favor either. Yeah, not all going our way, at least. Vessel mislead. Not enough to really open up an attack vector here. This is probably the last attack of the round, though, so take a swing anyway. There we go. Didn't manage to get the initiative back, which is not surprising. And we lost another one of our nameless men. That's not great. So obviously I need to encourage to get the combatives back from the men lost. Marcus here, involved in a fight with the enemy. He's got a fatigue advantage. Maybe not for very long, but he does. Apparently not. He's not good enough at fighting for that to give him a good advantage, though. Which is somewhat annoying. Yeah, minus 30 to hit. Okay, enemy is going offensive focus. Stance is too high to really for us to take advantage of that. Best opportunity this guy's gonna get to do damage. No luck. Well, the enemy's going in a balance again. Well, we're going to achieve the primary goal. As long as we don't get beaten into a complete pulp by the enemy. Yeah, we are getting pretty hammered by the enemy. And we lost another one of our men. Current size. Apparently, if we drop below 15 men, it's warning us we're getting dangerously close to losing at this point. Though, I don't think we're actually that dangerously close. It's warning us that we lose if we go below 15. Cohesion must be 1700 or less at the end of the fight. It is. We managed to stay above them, barely. Achieve your primary objective. The Gallic cavalry is threatening the formation on your left flank, which is quickly retreating. You must do the same unless you want to get crushed. At the same time, the units on your right have been upset by something you cannot see. The Gauls give you no quarter and harass you as you retrace your steps down the hill. Hear the voice of your Optio as he tries hard to prevent panic from spreading, and he fails. Doesn't look like he's succeeding. Must ensure the retreat remains under control. My charisma, which is enough. The men do seem to be listening to me, though. Move towards the foot of the hill. Century must resist. Gain some discipline. One of the soldiers grabbed the Gauls and slain before you can do anything, but your men maintain composure and fend off the enemy assault, plus 25 opinion of Caesar. 10th steps in to ease the pressure. The 13th must have been called up from the minor camp as you fought near the walls of the city, and now threatens the advancing Gauls from your left. They buy the rest of you enough time to reach the plain and regroup to form a barrier. Satisfied with the defeat inflicted on you, the Gauls are moving back towards the top of the hill. It is over for now. Too many casualties. Century has lost a lot of men. If they drop to 25 or less, you will achieve reinforcement at the high cost in terms of reputation, provided you're not in the middle of a fight. Caesar's opinion is not negative. If they drop below 15, it is over. Okay. Yesterday's debacle has cost you 700 men. 46 of them were centurions like you. Caesar assembles the army. He will deliver a speech. Despite the distance, his voice comes over strong as he lectures you all for disobeying his orders. You were supposed to stop at the enemy camps, but you've let your enthusiasm take control of your actions. You ignored the instructions of your commander and the call to retreat. Found out the cost of engaging an enemy on favorable ground. He admires your courage, but courage alone will not make you worthy soldier. Self-control and discipline are essential. He concludes this by exhorting you not to lose heart. You've been defeated because you fought under forbidden conditions, not because your enemy is superior. These words, he leads you out in battle formation. He is overly daring the Gauls to attack you here on the plain in front of Gergovina. You wait, but the Gauls do not make any move. The following day, he repeats the challenge again. The Gauls do not abandon the vantage ground. Vercingetorix is not a fool. Despite your recent losses, the pitched battle is still too much of a gamble. Caesar also has another aim, to diminish the victory of the Gauls in front of your own eyes. Recent years has taught you a lesson. In war, the perception you convey to the enemy is more important than reality. You break camp and leave. Gergovina for good. The city is impregnable to you, and the proconsul cannot afford to waste time. At dinner, you discuss with Renivius, a few other friends of yours. This retreat will have repercussions. More tribes will be encouraged to join the rebellion. As for Caesar's opinion options right now, the province of Gal Transalpina is close. Beyond the Cervenes to the south, the thought of finding refuge in Rome territory must be tempting. But it would be abandoning Labienus. There's 4 legions in the north. Such a thought is not even worth considering. The other possibility is to march north and rejoin Labienus. Together, perhaps you'll stand a chance against the storm that's about to be unleashed in Pony. Perhaps. Reach the river Allier in just 3 days. You find another broken bridge. It must be rebuilt, but you have not been asked to provide engineers. It's not necessary. Send them anyway. They can lend a hand. They succeed, experience, and trust. They're experienced and can be trusted. Their contribution is appreciated, which makes Caesar happy. You cross the new bridge as soon as it's serviceable. Now that they are close to their homes, the Arduini part ways with you. You've heard that the cavalry commanders asked Caesar for permission to leave, to hasten to their land to prevent them from joining the rebellion. The proconsul let them go. Nobody thinks he trusts them anymore. It would make little sense for them to keep them with you if you don't trust them. Yeah. You continue your march north. The rumors you hear along the way get worse and worse. There's an Arduinian city called Novordinium, another Novordinium. The name is so common because it means new fort in the local language. They're making new forts. The Novordinium is especially important because it's where all of Caesar's hostages are kept, or rather, were kept. As expected, the Arduini have openly joined the enemy, massacred the garrison at Novordinium and all the Roman merchants. They stole their goods and took the Gallic hostages to their Vergobretum in Biberacate. They also took care of burning the entire town on the ground just in case it fell to your hands. The cavalry scouts find a viable ford in the river Lior and use it to leave behind enemy territory for former allies. Your stocks will not last forever and you have no reliable silo lines. You must forage for food. Okay, we gain 3 bonus opinion from getting extra supplies for Caesar during our foraging. You and the unit lead will not succeed in everything. Failures, mistakes, and casualties are part of the journey. That's what the game is hinting us. Okay, looking at the time, I should go ahead and put a part break in here. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, this is probably going to be a longer break than the previous ones because I'm going to go ahead and make a new cup of tea because this cup of tea, what's left of it, it's about to face its end. So I hope you've all been enjoying. Until next time, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.